Hey folks, welcome to the MTG Sunday Jank-Off with just Ben or break right now because my friend AlbinoCheesemonkey is still having game update issues due to a poor connection and just logging in about 15 minutes ago to update. But we will be online soon for some real Standard Brawl jank, celebrating the end of the Final Fantasy set. Until then, we're going to be on the Standard ladder with a non-jank deck. It's a fun little deck that I pull out from time to time when I'm not testing my jank, which is very little of the time because we do this every week. New decks every week, Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC. But for just a game or so, until AlbinoCheesemonkey is able to join us, we're going to be playing Golgari Demons. Probably not as good as the Orzhov Demons build that pops up reasonably often, but it's my favorite colors. And it has some really neat tools, like, as we see in our starting hand here, Mosswood Dread Knight and Glissa Sunslayer. We're going to cast our Mosswood Dread Knight Adventure here to try to draw a land, which we did. Looks like our opponent is holding up removal. All of our 3 drops would be answered on a 1-for-1 basis currently. I think Glissa is the one we least want to be interacted with. Preacher dodges some removal. Unholy Annex will dodge most removal. Get Lost will still take it out. That's a common removal spell that can target enchantments, but it looks like our opponent did not have it, or else it would have had a priority stick there. So I'm glad we went with that instead of a creature, which would probably fall prey to their 2-mana instant speed removal. Alright, so we're doing good. We still need to be hitting our land drops. I'm going to try to do so. Luck of the draw again. And let's get down a creature to start pressuring our opponent. It's kind of neat to be able to talk through plays like this. Usually I'm playing against AlbinoCheesemonkey, who will be joining us soon, and I want to keep exactly all our thought process secret. So I'm going to use Annoying Affliction. That's a good answer to Mosswood Dread Knight because it exiles it. It has an ability that allows it to be played from the graveyard using its adventure ability. Alright, I think we want to go with Preacher of the Schism, and we'll keep up Cut Down for Ellis. Ellis is a pretty annoying blocker and has good synergies with a lot of Orzhov strategies. They're probably doing a sacrifice type strategy. We're fine with that. Better to hit the Preacher than Glissa. Nesting Bot. Alright, before that resolves, we're going to kill Ellis just to deny them the life gain from the bot entering. And now I think probably time to start creating some demons. Alright. So we both got card draw engines online. We're going to need to find a way to deal with the arena at some point, but our draw engine should be better than theirs. They are apparently going to keep finding targeted removal. Alchemist Pack Beasts. That's interesting. They're definitely playing with Sephiroth. That's a very powerful sacrifice card in the current meta. Hello folks who are just joining us. We are waiting for AlbinoCheesemonkey to resolve just some internet and update issues. He will be with us shortly for our scheduled Jank-Off. I think it's time to risk Glissa. I'd really like her to be able to get through and kill the arena. Actually, no, it's not. We don't have enough mana. Okay. Demon. And Dread Knight. So we're playing Golgari Demons currently. There have been a few times in the past, this past year where it's been a meta deck. Do they have removal for my demon? Wow, opponent has cast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 targeted removal spells. That's quite a few, isn't it? They're finally empty-handed, but their Phyrexian Arena is still firing. I'm glad we drew a demon there, because that will keep our Unholy Annex from draining us too badly. I think now that we know they're empty-handed from removal, we will risk our Glissa. Archfiend of the Dross is also a very quick clock, so we have kind of two must-kill creatures here. What a surprise, our opponent drew a removal spell for the 7th time? 8th time? Whatever. That is a pretty powerful card. But I think our opponent is just dead, because these tokens are all going to die. Yeah, our triggers will kill them first. Archfiend of the Dross gets the job done. Alright folks, welcome to those just joining us. We are waiting for AlbinoCheesemonkey to resolve a few internet issues. Should be just fine within minutes. We're playing some Golgari Demons on the ranked ladder until we figure that out. The point is carrying a lot of targeted removal. They're also going wide. Malicious Eclipse doesn't actually hit a lot of their key pieces, it's looking like. I'll still board one in. One's all we have. Duress looks bad in this matchup. I don't think they're running Planeswalkers, so we're not running the Edict. I haven't seen any Graveyard Recursion. Occasionally an Orzhov deck like this will use Raise the Past. So I may risk Land over the Void for that. Aklazotz is great against removal. Well, destroy removal. And let's just look for some cards to cut. Edict can go. Terra Sunder, I don't think we saw any pieces that Terra Sunder would want to target, so that can go. I think we're left with a pretty good deck with not many changes. That should do it. Gix's Command will be a great card if we can draw into it. So how y'all doing today? It's the last set before Edge of Eternities, so we're going to be doing some Standard Brawl Final Fantasy Commanders with AlbinoCheesemonkey in a bit. This is good. We have Leyline of the Void to shut down our opponent's graveyard if they're planning on doing Raise the Past shenanigans. And we have Llanowar Elves on 1 to ramp us into Unholy Annex potentially on 3, or Preacher of the Schism. They might answer the Elves. That's okay. It's eating a removal spell that's not going at one of our proper threats. We're okay with this. We draw a third land, which is excellent. So this turn we're just holding up Go for the Throat, and then we get one of our threats down on 3. Alright. Looks like Annex resolved without them being able to move it, so if they're running Go for Get Lost, they don't seem to have that in post-board. Avenger of the Fallen. Mobilize X, or X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. That should remain 0 because of Leyline of the Void until they have an opportunity to remove that. I think this is our chance to get down Preacher and tap land. If they hold back with Avenger of the Fallen, we'll be able to hopefully remove it with Go for the Throat or Gix's Command, and then attacking with our Preacher and start generating value that way. Preacher is a nice grindy mid-range card, and we're playing some grindy mid-range. We do not want to trade, given that their graveyard is shut down right now. Our Preacher is much more valuable. They have removal anyway. That's all right. Nothing too appealing to do with any of our other cards right now, so I think we'll just unlock the Ritual Chamber and summon some demons. Just as Richard Garfield intended. They may have removal for it. So I saw a priority stick there. Our opponent has a great deal of removal. This is alright though. We have a great deal of threats. Phyrexian Arena, I did forget about that. It's possible we should have brought in removal for the arena. Ended up kind of killing our opponent though, the last game. Let's see what we can draw. I think we're not under too much pressure and we can afford to do so. Let's play our Dread Knight, and we're planning on casting Go for the Throat on the Avenger. They're getting a little low in life. Or if they play a more threatening creature, we'll remove that instead. Pack Beasts is of some concern. Alright, what do we want to do here? I think we may be casting Gix's Command next turn. Destroying all creatures with power 2 or less. That'll wipe both their creatures and none of ours. So we just let their attack resolve. I'm not going to waste my Go for the Throat on it right now. cast it. I am going to get some lifelink going to balance out the life lost to our Annex until we can find another demon card. And cast another Dread Knight. We've got them under some pressure, and the arena will be draining them slowly. Hey folks, welcome to the stream if you're just tuning in. We are playing some Golgari Demons while AlbinoCheesemonkey gets his internet situation sorted out. He will be joining us shortly. Mid-range. Alright, I'm hearing that it'll still be another 5 minutes or so. Let's get in another best of 3. This is just a cute little... It's not jank. This is... it's not meta either. It's in that liminal space of being a competitive mid-range deck without being a meta deck. We're playing Golgari Demons because Golgari is my favorite color, and Demons have some really powerful cards in Standard right now. Rotating will be Sheoldred and Archfiend of the Dross, as well as some of our best removal spells. So I'm enjoying this before rotation later this week. I'm curious to know what Edge of Eternity's cards folks are looking forward to in chat. I think it's coming soon enough, and the streamer event has already kicked off late last week. That not worried about spoilers. I've looked through the full set myself. What are you looking forward to? I'll be missing Sheoldred, Go for the Throat, and Cut Down. I won't exactly be missing playing against them though. So it goes. Alright, we're on the play. Our opponent may not present any good targets for cut down, so we'll just get our tap land down so we can cast either side of Mosswood Dread Knight next turn, depending on what speed of deck they're running. Generally against slow grindy decks, I will first cast Dread Whispers, make sure we're getting all the cards off this card that we can. If we're in a circumstance where we need to be fast and aggressive and put down blockers, I will play the Dread Knight straight up. So it's good to have that flexibility depending on what Galaxian, the Virtuous, is doing today. Okay, our opponent does present a 1-drop that we would like to remove. We drew a tap land also. I think we play this and our Dread Knight as a blocker. They shouldn't be able to swing in very profitably. Indeed. And this lets us play 2 removal spells on our turn if we want to. I'm not feeling any stick or priority aside from the blocker step, so I think we will just cast Cut Down now. Sometimes mono green or landfall opponents will run 1-mana protection spells for their important creatures, but it looks like we're playing against something entirely different. Huntsman Redemption does not really occur in any meta decks. We have enough Go for the Throats. I think we're just going to spend it on this. We want our Dread Knight to get in again this turn. We can remove the next thing they do. When this triggers, they won't have any creatures to sacrifice. I think we just remove their blocker, play our big threat, and hope they can't cope. Because right now this Redemption isn't doing much. They're Naya colors, which is not a color combination I've seen with Saz's Chocobo before. Usually they'll be mono green landfall aggro. I've seen it in Celestia, and I think I may have seen it in Simic at one point, but... Okay. I think we just want to be applying lots of pressure. Sheoldred kills very quickly. This will put them down to only 3. Oh, 2. I miscounted. They're dead. Golgari. Alright. We saw Chocobo, we saw Huntsman's Redemption. That doesn't actually tell us anything, or a lot. We probably will want creature removal. Our opponent's clearly running a creature-heavy deck, but we can't tell much more than that. I will go down on Duress, maybe down Terrace Under, down Sheoldred's Edict. We can always bring that back in. I think we want to have good removal, be fast, and proactive. Aklazotz is a nice stabilizer in the late game if they manage to get ahead of us. We have 2 slots right now. Let's bring in... I don't think they're doing graveyard stuff. Edict as a cheap removal spell, and Maelstrom Pulse as a flexible removal spell. Excellent card. Just the Golgari archetype doesn't see a lot of play in current standard meta, as far as we can tell. It's a bit of a lame duck meta after the banning of 7 cards. Was it at the end of last month? But it'll be interesting to see how Edge of Eternity spices things up and rotation. Opponent has the same opening. We don't have any turn 1 plays. I kept because we can tap land turn 1 and then have a 2, 3, 4 curve. That's pretty killer. Opponent will be on the play. We're definitely going to have to worry about aggression on their part. Let's do a priority check for instant speed protection spells. I'm not seeing anything, so let's wait and see what happens. They may play a threat that we want to remove. Alright folks, welcome to the stream if you're just joining. This is the MTG Sunday Jank-Off with Ben or Break, and usually AlbinoCheesemonkey, who is currently working on some internet issues. They had a white protection spell, which is why it did not hold priority when they had 1 green open. We're okay with that. Our opponent is not being very aggressive. Esper Origins is a slow card when you can't cast it out of the graveyard. We're just slamming Annex, and then slamming Demon, and then slamming Demon. And we should have a good shot of just overpowering them with Demons. We're playing Demon, Golgari mid-range. Okay. Okay, these all make sense for a Unideck. The only card that doesn't really make sense to me for a Unideck is the Chocobo. I guess they just wanted a 1-drop, but it's not really an aggro deck. I wouldn't choose to play that myself. We'll see if they have good removal. It's possible they'll be able to reanimate a Titan next turn, which could be of some concern. Esper Origins we're okay with. It looks like they won't be able to swing this turn. Okay, so going with a Unideck that also has heavy landfall themes. We did not draw any interaction. We do need to be aggressive or our Archfiend will lose us the game. I think we swing. And we're just gonna create another demon. Be efficient with our mana usage. We could play a 4-mana demon and a tap land. I think we really just want to apply as much pressure in the air as possible. If our opponent is not able to interact with us, they will die in the air on our next turn. They don't have any good attacks currently either. You need a removal. Or Yuna for lifelink on some of their enchantment creatures. Is Esper doing a enchantment? Yes, it is. So that would allow them to potentially hold on another turn. That shouldn't do it. Look for their Chocobo, but they need lifelink or removal. No. Sorry, opponent. I think you're dead. They can get an attack in with the Chocobo, but we're not going to trade for our demon. We have lethal. Alright, let's swing in and see if they have anything. Our opponent is down to 2. Let's unlock this Annex just to be sure. Play out some blockers in case they somehow can remove both these for 1 mana. I can't see any way of it happening, so they should be dead. GG, Golgari Demons, good stuff. Alright, welcome to the stream if you're just joining, folks. I am hearing that AlbinoCheesemonkey will be joining us shortly for our end-of-set Final Fantasy Standard Brawl off, in which we play Final Fantasy Commanders to celebrate the end of the Final Fantasy set, well, all of the Final Fantasy set really, and prepare for Edge of Eternities to join us this week. So in the meantime, while we wait for the Cheese Monkey, we're grinding with some Golgari Demons on the standard best of 3 ranked ladder. Not a jank deck, also not a meta deck, somewhere in between. A strong mid-range deck, which I've been enjoying quite a bit in the rare times when I'm not playing jank in preparation for the Jank-Off, which we do every week. Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 11 p.m. UTC. One reason why we have Llanowar Elves in this deck is because it allows us to do a very, very sweet little turn 1 1-drop into turn 2 3-drop, like Unholy Annex. Our opponent has the same idea and the same colors, but we're on the play. Hopefully, our plan will be faster and stronger than theirs. I wish we had a second black. We are going to have to remove Glissa, I think. We definitely can't play Arcfiend, because then we're just chump blocking. Any interaction is Glissa can remove counters from permanent, and Arcfiend having its counters removed is pretty bad news. So we will be playing a tap land, I think, and using Go for the Throat on the Glissa. It is a card that kind of just beats us, which is why we're running some copies also. Let's see if we can draw them. Okay, let's tap for green. If our opponent tries to pass to combat, we will go for Glissa's Throat. Okay. Opponent has 1 black mana up. I think this is a good time to slam our own Fiend and let our Annex start draining them. Unholy Annex. Beginning of your end step, draw a card. If we control a demon, like Arcfiend, our opponent loses 2 and we gain 2. Okay. I think our opponent actually had a decent shot there. We didn't have a way to deal with Preacher in hand, but they called it good enough. Which, fair enough. Alright, so this is a grindy mid-range matchup. We want flexible removal, a lot of 1-for-1 removal. Maybe, I don't think we want to go to S. I don't think we want to go Llanowar Elves. This isn't a speed matchup. Llanowar Elves are great when speed matters, but I don't think it matters too much here. Cut Down I'm a little iffy on. We'll probably bring some back in a moment. I'm worried about the possibility of Planeswalkers. Dread Knight is a great grindy card that's hard to remove profitably. Alright, we've got 1 flex slot. Let's bring in a Cut Down. This isn't going to leave us with any turn 1 plays, aside from that single Cut Down, but I'm not too worried. Usually the only good targets in their deck is Llanowar Elves. We don't really want to be going card for card with that. We just want to have our own cards be better than their own cards. So I think this is a pretty keepable hand. We've got a 2-3-4 curve. Removal into Annex into Arcfiend. That's the kind of curve that beat them last game. So we'll play it out again. I think at this point, yes, we'll wait for them to go to combat before removing Glissa. They're very unlikely to run protection spells or counter spells. The mana won't support it. Won't support counters, of course. That's another card we would like to remove. Okay, they're attacking with the Elves. So they will be able to get some value with Preacher. Actually, we're at lower life total. Yeah, they'll be drawing cards. An interesting line here is potentially risk Glissa. But if they have targeted removal, it looks really bad. They spend 2 mana out of their 4 at least. We've wasted our whole turn. I'd rather take the guaranteed value of Annex. If we draw untapped land, we can play Arcfiend next turn. And if not, we can try the Glissa. That's fine. 1-for-1. Well, actually, it's not even 1-for-1. We got a card draw out of that. Okay. Dread Knight does not block Glissa very well. We don't have any 2 mana removal in hand, so I think we will try Glissa here and play a tap land. This will feel bad if they have a way to remove it, but yep. No. Okay, Duress. Looks like we're in the clear then. They're almost certain to take Vivi. Okay, they take Terra Sunder, sure. opponent. Maybe they just really want to draw a card. If not, they're about to learn about first strike plus deck touch. Neat. Let's attack on in. I don't think we need to play defensive right now. Opponent jumps with the elves. We are going to get our Vivien on the board. They can't threaten her currently, except with his Revenant, which is a flying creature. Vivien can -3 to remove flying creatures. So we'll start +1ing Vivien to get some card advantage flying over the next few turns. Again, these are pretty poor blockers. Let's see what Vivien finds for us. Just a Blooming Marsh. Not great. I think Vivien is just... our opponent only has one card in hand. Vivien is going to win the game. We can keep her in play. I'm going to tap land, hold up Terra Sunder, and use Glissa as a blocker. Glissa will block Cecil quite profitably. Deep Cavern Bat will force removal. We want to cast his Terra Sunder if we're going to. They can take one of our Archfiends. We have a second one. No problem there. They have the line of giving Cecil flying to start pressuring Vivien by exiling Farsi Revenant, as they are doing now. But this won't kill Vivien this turn. We should be able to get another card out of her. This way is a good draw. Let's see if we can find... Okay, untapped land is something we will take. Our opponent has no ground creatures, so we can attack with Glissa pretty freely. They'd just be chump blocking if they blocked. We can remove counters from Cecil, interestingly. But our opponent doesn't want to wait around and see what we do. Alright, folks. I'm hopeful that my friend AlbinoCheesemonkey will be able to join us shortly. He's been keeping in contact. Just having some internet and update issues with the newest Edge of Eternity's preparatory update. Alright, 3 to 5 minutes. Sounds good, folks. We'll try to get in one more best of 3. If it's as quick as this last one, we'll be rolling right along. We are playing Golgari mid-range today while we wait for AlbinoCheesemonkey to join us for the Final Fantasy Standard Brawl off at the end of Final Fantasy before Edge of Eternity's joins Standard and rotation happens and many cards leave. This is just a fun little mid-range deck, not quite meta, not quite jank, somewhere in between, that I like to play when I'm not testing jank. So we're going to lead with Blooming Marsh that we just drew, have a turn 1 cut down ready. With Dread Knight, we will probably be drawing a card unless they have a particularly aggressive threat like that. That leads me more to want to try Duress. So next turn they will be able to play their Slick Shot and have Overprotect up. I think we want to deny them that option, even though Opera Love Song can potentially represent 2 additional cards. Let's see if they try for the Slick Shot. If they don't have any other action, they may, but they opt not to. Alright, let's keep Cut Down up and play a threat. Luke asks in the chat, what is my favorite Final Fantasy card now that it's coming to an end? Well, Starting Town. Starting Town is a pretty incredible addition to standard mana base going forward. As a multicolored fast land. It's kind of like fast land married with pain land. It comes in untapped during the first 3 turns of the game, kind of like Blooming Marsh. Okay, so our opponent seems to be playing around a cut down. That's fine with us. But the ability to generate any color of mana at the cost of paying 1 life is a pretty neat one. I think we just spend our cut down here. We have 2 other forms of targeted removal. Let's just use our mana and stay aggressive. We can deploy our value pieces once our opponent has exhausted their threats, I would say. So this turn we'll be holding up our 2 removal spells. At some point, they're going to have to commit Slick Shot. Okay. Do we let them go to attacks? I don't think so. Please sacrifice a non-token creature. However, Luke, if you're looking forward to other Final Fantasy cards, I can reveal that for today's Standard Brawl off, I will be playing Choco, Seeker of Paradise, a Chocobo who likes to reward us playing birds. Oh, that's a pretty good draw. Playing birds and making landfall triggers. This is a really rough decision here, folks. I think we play Glissa as a kind of defensive option and hope they continue playing around Cut Down. Nope, they are going to commit their Slick Shot. All right. Am I hearing correctly that AlbinoCheesemonkey will be joining us in a moment? Yes. All right. I'm going to unmute you, my friend. 3, 2, 1. Hey, folks. It's AlbinoCheesemonkey. We are about to get soloed by this Slick Shot show-off in the Standard ladder.
We are imminent launching into the Brawl world. I don't know. I was going to make an Edge of Eternities pun, but it didn't work.
Edging into Standard Brawl.
Oh, I guess it did work. I didn't think about it. Anyway, yeah, just having some fighting with my internet, which seems to be dropping, and every once in a while, and fighting with my unprofessionalism because I forgot to update the game. So a 1-2 wombo combo, but we're almost there.
Yep, sorry for the delay, folks, but hope you've been enjoying some Golgari action in the meantime. We may just be dead here. Looks like we're dead here. That's what show-off can do when they come in twos. Fortunately, our opponent is playing a pretty fragile deck. We're just going to board in our removal, and we'll be pretty well set up to deal with them. A couple more cards to stabilize. This is a fast matchup, so grindy cards like Dread Knight, Terra Sunder may not be as desirable. I think we do keep on in our annexes, though, and go down to us. Okay. AlbinoCheesemonkey, would you be able to send me a challenge when you're ready?
Yeah, almost there.
All right, perfect.
I'm on the last 0.01 megabyte, which apparently is the longest one.
It's always the longest mile, the last one.
Yeah. Anyway, how you been? Good? I just saw you recently.
Myself, I have been quite good.
Should we tell the folks what we were up to on Saturday?
Yes, tell them what you thought about your first time viewing the Lord of the Rings trilogy in its full extended version glory.
I think that it was a worthwhile endeavor, and much like the Fellowship of the Ring, it was an adventure worth having.
An adventure worth having. Love it.
I enjoyed it. I remember asking you, you had made a comment about how your favorite one of them changed as you grew older, and I think I kind of agree with you. Like, if I had seen Return of the King as a kid, that would have unequivocally been my favorite, because I think the big epic battle scenes are just, you know, eye candy. But the older I get, the more I get warm fuzzy feelings about the first movie, even though I've seen it like twice in my life. But more importantly, I saw it first in theaters as a kid, so you know, I'm entering the nostalgia age where that kind of stuff hits different. That's
true. I'm sure nostalgia is a big part of it. Yes, Luke, extended version Lord of the Rings.
All right, this last 0.06.01 is really getting on my nerves. I'm sorry, folks. Why don't you just start doing your deck tech now?
Well, yeah. Reveal all my secrets. My secret bird jank.
Oh, you got me. You got me. All right, I'm gonna restart my game and see if that pushes the last little bit through.
All right, folks. We really need to be hitting our lands here. We're still stuck on 2 lands. That's a really good card. I guess we just spend maps and make a blocker. They'll be able to play around it now, though. Yeah, we're blocking. Let's see if they have another pump spell. Mice are definitely weaker now that Fire Hero and Monstrous Rage are banned, but yeah, our opponent's pushing damage while they can. That is fine. We'll just... Oh, we can't cast Malicious Eclipse. Big mistake. Okay, big mistake on my part. Glissa it is. Glissa can block pretty well. Luke says, they would not be able to survive a marathon like that, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just like 11-ish hours. No biggie. Okay, opponent overprotects to deal with our Glissa. Man, pump spell tribal.
I'm doing such a great job restarting my game. Kai comes on a Subaru. That's a good name. That's a good username.
Yeah, we just brought a lot of food. Took meal breaks between each movie. Had snacks, coffee. Good time. Okay, our opponent is really weirdly committing to the board despite us having Malicious Eclipse. I think we just want to start getting aggressive now. No, we don't want that.
I've got bad news, Ben.
What's up?
I'm getting crashes to desktop.
Okay, uninstall, reinstall maybe?
Yep, that's what we're going to have to do. You keep going. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, we're playing Golgari, folks, which is my favorite color combination. Okay, streaming analysis will be a problem if we don't find removal. We have not yet found removal. I think we actually just like need to find removal or we're dead. So let's hope we draw instant speed removal here, folks. No, we are donezo. All right, folks, I think our first loss in the best of 3 on stream with Golgari Demons is to Naya Pump Spell Mice Aggro, which should have been a pretty good matchup, but our opponent made some pretty good trades and had some good protection spells. So on we go with the demon grind, while our friend AlbinoCheesemonkey readies himself for Final Fantasy Standard Brawl.
Good times.
Good times indeed. We'll get there. Apparently, it was a kind of compound error, as AlbinoCheesemonkey said, of needing to update while having internet problems, and internet problems in the middle of downloading game update data can result in corrupted game data. Corrupted game data can result in crashes to desktop. And crashes to desktop means we're not playing Magic yet.
Yep. But we are still very entertaining people. Especially Ben.
Why, thank you. I'm playing Llanowar Elves on 1. It will probably be Torch the Towered or Burst Lightninged, and it wasn't. This allows us to play Glissa on 3 if we so choose. Well, on turn 2. Or Llanowar Elves plus Go for the Throat, or Cut Down plus Go for the Throat. I'm leaning toward Glissa in absence of anything else happening. Our opponent may be playing an equipment-based deck based on their avatar and sleeves, which don't actually need to correspond to what a deck is doing. They could just be red aggro. Our opponent is ramping. How confusing. I feel like a mono-red ramp deck will be able to deal with Glissa. I would rather cut down their ramp, play down some more of my own, and I guess attack for 1 with my Llanowar Elves. It's possible we can cut down and just hold up Go for the Throat, but often these mono-red mid-range decks are not very creature-heavy. Okay, there's a creature that wants equipments. Fair enough. So now our play is going to be... Tap an Elves, please. Thank you. Glissa, hold up Go for the Throat. Glissa is an excellent blocker, and Go for the Throat should take care of any problems that arise from Furion, Wild Rose Warrior. Choose target creature you control. It deals damage equal to power to each other creature. If the spell is cast from graveyard, discard your hand, draw 4 cards. No, we don't want our board to be wiped. Let's just go for that throat. Alright, folks. Their opponent is definitely playing Big Red, as it is sometimes called. Let's draw a card, lose a life, and play a demon.
Like Clifford the dog?
Yeah, Clifford, just like Clifford the dog. Luke says, don't judge a player by his cute girls and jacked men anime profile pictures. Indeed. Our opponent demands answers. Okay, they're playing equipment, a big equipment deck. Big equipment. Let's get aggressive. Let's draw a card and lose a life. It's another demon. Let's play it down. Our mono-red opponents will probably have a hard time dealing with our demons. Thank you, Mary Rosa, for the follow. Our opponent is playing Gilgamesh, Master at Arms, which is their profile, and they whiff. Thank you, Mary, but we're already rolling with a co-streamer for this one. AlbinoCheesemonkey will be joining us shortly, folks.
Oh, I'm around. I'm around.
Let's see what our sideboard has for this kind of matchup. I like Sheoldred's Edict. I like Duress. Aklazot should be a sticky threat that they have trouble dealing with. Likewise for some Planeswalkers. I'm not sure about Geek's Command. Bit of life gain, some big threats. Glissa, I'm a little worried about in this matchup. Same thing for Mosswood Dread Knight. They're very easy cards to remove. Cut down, Duress. Did we have any good cut down targets there? I guess the ramp. Let's reconsider some of that. We're definitely keeping Go for the Throat. Let's do 2 Terra Sunder, 1 Glissa, Maelstrom Pulse, 2 Dread Knight, 2 cut down, Command. We just want to have some diverse removal. They will actually be running some surprisingly diverse threats. They have some artifacts that we want to remove with Terra Sunder, possibly. I'm still a little bit confused as to whether they're leaning more on the equipment angle or the big red angle. Oh, Blooming Marsh is a fine draw. They may be keeping up removal. Let's draw a card with Dread Knight. Duress is good. I want to see what they're up to before they can do something too big and scary. Perfect. Let's Duress them. Choose a non-land card from hand, discard it. Dissection tools will be reasonably annoying to deal with. Let's take that. Let's play down Dread Knight. I'm not too worried about removing Furion. Maybe I should be. They can make 2 Warrior Sword tokens here. Probably should have removed Furion. Oh well. Sure. We'll trade for their token. Next turn is probably going to be cast Dread Knight from the graveyard and then go for Furion's Throat. Should have removed her, folks. We got greedy. Wanted to put some pressure on. Okay, yeah, let's prevent that from happening again. From here, our opponent is left with some 4/3s. So we're gonna play down a 6/6, I think. Let's unlock this Ritual Chamber. They may cast Seize the Spoils. Oh, no, they found Furion. I think I like leaving back our demon as a blocker and just unlocking double Annex, gaining life while we can. We will outgrind them. Their hand is pretty bad right now. Let's see if they Seize the Spoils. Discarding Seize the Spoils. They'll have a hard time beating this demon token. Indeed. Anything good? Karn Silex. That is good. No attacks. Also good. So that can tap for X. Destroy each non-permanent with mana value X or less. Activate only as a sorcery. I believe our Unholy Annexes actually count as mana value 8 while on the field, so they should be safe unless our opponent draws land. I'm still not going to commit any more. It's going to be Dread Knight because I don't care about that getting removed. Sentinel of the Nameless City because it will generate us immediate value with that map token. And we'll hold up Go for the Throat in case they don't pop the Silex. We should start closing out this game, though. What's up?
I don't think my internet's going to hold up to streaming, but I do want to play with you. I've been looking forward to this matchup. So I'm going to go to one of my other devices that I have this game installed on, and I'll just play you from there, and I'll just chat with you on your stream. How's that sound?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, see you soon. Genji Glove. Equipped creature has double strike whenever equipped creature attacks. Okay. They can play and equip it. I think that is supposed to be a combo with Gilgamesh or whatever. But our opponent looks pretty dead to me. They need to pop the Silex if they're going to survive. X equals 3. That should remove their tokens, but not their Warrior Swords or Genji Gloves. I'm fine with that. Okay, looks like the Annex that was not fully unlocked actually was destroyed. That is actually fine with us. Let's make another demon. Good enough. Alright, folks. Our Golgari Demon grind has come to an end. We'll prepare for our friend AlbinoCheesemonkey to do some Standard Brawl.